Today on America's Court with Judge Ross.
She did not give me the whole scope of the picture.
Okay, fair enough. Why not sue Omazing Adventures then?
Well, I
You weren't expecting that to come at you. In my courtroom, it's about equity and fairness. Stop. Is that true? I don't want you to understand. I want you to overstand.
Yes, sir.
That's why they pay me the big bucks. Justice should be more than just some foreign concept. I actually want you to learn something. That's not gonna happen. Not up in here, not today. And boom goes the dynamite.
Fair, firm, compassionate. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Malcolm Hayes claims he hired the defendant to handle travel to a theme park for he and his friends, and says she didn't follow through on her promises of a hassle-free experience.
All rise. Remain standing and come to order. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Kevin Ross presiding.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated.
Mr. Hayes is suing Cristina Daniels in the amount of $1,890.
All parties have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Deputy Thomas. So what we have here is in the law is what's called a misrepresentation of a business service agreement. Mr. Hayes, you're saying that Ms. Daniels, who is a you sort of book travel agent, is that what you were considered, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes.
All right. She misrepresented what you thought was a package that you were getting and you paid a set amount. You're asking for the entire amount back, which is $1,890, and you're going to have to prove why you should be given that.
Yes, Your Honor.
Anytime you're ready, let's roll.
Yes, Your Honor. So I was planning a group trip with my college friends. There's about 10 of us in total, including me. We were getting a reunion together in Topeka, Kansas, where we all went to college.
Oh, okay.
And we decided to go to Amazing Fun Adventures.
All right. And why did you use Ms. Daniels for this trip that you were going to book?
Well, so I'm an event coordinator.
You're an event coordinator?
Yes.
How long have you been doing that, sir?
About 8 years.
Oh, okay. So you have some expertise in that area.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And usually I would handle the matters of this huge cargo footprint, as I had my friends flying in from different parts of the U.S. But I decided, hey, I'm about to go on vacation.
This is for me as well. Why am I going to be working when I can have somebody else and pay them to do it?
I thought someone else should do the legwork. And
why did you pick Ms. Daniels out of everyone that you had an option to
She presented herself as someone who was knowledgeable and reliable, and had knowledge about Amazing Fun Adventures. And she lived in Topeka, Kansas, and so I understood that she frequentedly
had clients and may herself have gone and frequented that particular establishment.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Daniels, is that true? Did you live in the Kansas area?
Yes, sir. I do.
Okay. And did you have expertise about Amazing Adventures?
So not personally. I have booked maybe about 10 years ago a family to this particular venue.
There was a 10-year lull from the time you first had interaction with this particular adventure park to when you interacted with Mr. Hayes.
That's correct, sir.
Did you tell him that?
I did not. No,
You
sir.
did not. Okay. Would that have made a difference for you, Mr. Hayes, had you known that Ms. Daniels had not booked any other party over a 10-year period?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Okay.
Like I said, I thought she was knowledgeable about the area and the park. And so if she...
Well, the area and the park are two different things. If you live in the area, correct?
I live in the area.
You live near, so you have familiarity with that aspect of what he's asking for, but not so much familiarity with the park itself.
Correct.
Got it.
But Your Honor, it's Topeka, Kansas. There's a limited number of options for things for you to do.
Well, there are definitely other cities that have probably more options available.
Sure.
And so it's not unreasonable to deduce that with the limited number of things that are accessible there, that would represent a high knowledge of those things in terms of the agent. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Daniels, what say you?
Your Honor, when he found me, which was great, I have 15 years of experience on delivering awesome adventures, awesome trips for families, and singles and, whatnot. And so when he emailed me requesting this particular park, I just went into full, okay, let me see if I can find some opportunities or some good deals for him. I'll be honest with you, because he mentioned the park in his email, which is right here.
Yes, please.
Thank you. He
Anything
mentioned,
else, Judge?
yeah, yes, please.
That's it?
Yes. He mentioned this particular park. So me assuming that he emailed me about this park, he knew a little bit of information about this particular adventure park.
Because
And
otherwise,
so,
why pick this random?
Why pick it?
And you said you went into normal travel agent mode.
Absolutely.
And what does that look like?
Coming up on America's Court.
This does not include whatever additional costs, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
You're not suing for those things.
No.
Okay.
I think I'm being mighty generous, Your Honor.
Okay. I'll be the judge of that.
Thank you.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. This is America's Court with Judge Ross, Emmy-nominated for Outstanding Legal Courtroom Program. America's Court is back with the case of Malcolm Hayes, who is suing Christina Daniels for false promotion and misrepresentation.
So for me, I do get great opportunities that come my way via email. You know, I'm so sorry, I need to give you this one as well. But I found this great opportunity,
Deputy Thomas
this
does
promotion.
not do this a la carte. He's like, give me everything.
Give me everything you
Let me
got.
give you this.
He's an all-you-can-eat buffet kind of guy, you know?
Give it there.
All right, there you go.
Getting my steps in today.
All right.
I found this promotion. I thought it was a great deal for what
Well,
he was
you've given
looking
me a
for.
lot, so let me digest it properly. He says that this is something that he normally does. And then you have given me also the cost where there's a wait time of 10 minutes or less on all active attractions, 50% off all food and merchandise. And on Wednesdays, it's always 18 and over. This was the information that you were able to ascertain, Ms. Daniels, correct?
Yes, that is correct. And it was
This
a
is
promotion.
information that you passed on to Mr. Hayes?
So I did pass some information on to him, absolutely. And that is the promotion I received.
So it says here for 10 people on a fly pass deal, the total would be $1,390. You ended up suing for $1,890. The difference of the $500 represents what, sir?
I had paid her $50 per person, so 50 times 10
For her
people.
service?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that true?
That's correct.
Okay. And this does not include whatever additional costs for merchandise, for food, for drink, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
You're not suing for those things?
No.
Okay.
I think I'm being mighty generous, Your Honor.
Okay. I'll be the judge of that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Had you made any contact with the Omazing Adventures yourself personally, or did you just gather the information from the website?
I gathered the information that was sent to me because we receive, again, these promotions. And so, yes, that is the
Okay.
information I used.
And based on the information that you emailed him, you say, Mr. Hayes, while with a steal, let's do it. I can write you the money, or I can wire you the money. I need glasses. All right, don't get old, folks. I can wire you the money by EOD, and then you say, here are your passes and your booking detail information, and I am in receipt of the monies. Okay. You get to Omazing Adventures, and what happens?
It turns out that Amazing Fun Adventures had some amazing prices. There was nothing discounted, as promised. Everything was at full price.
Because it said something about you were supposed to get things 50% off.
50% off, yes. No, everything was full price. There was no discount. There was discounts on like the little kiosks, the little pizzas, maybe some ice creams, but for the restaurants, the Roadhouse, everything was full price. There was nothing of significant value.
And what about
Half
the
off.
issue of the fly passes? 10 minutes.
So the fly pass is guaranteed that there wouldn't be any long wait lines.
Yes.
10 minutes or less. That was not the case. We were in line for the rides that were actually working and available
Wait, what do you mean? Not all the machines were operable?
Not all the machines were operable. Some of the rides were like shut down and had been for like a while. And so the rides that we were able to go on, we ended up being in line for upwards to an hour for those rides. And not only that, on Wednesdays when there were supposed to be no kids present, there were kids present throughout the park. And that was my one request in my original email.
And that's out of my control.
And I take it you don't have kids?
No, Your
So
Honor.
you're not trying to be around some kids at an amusement park?
Me or my 9 other friends who
It's
flew
because
in.
it's a different whole flavor and vibe when those kids are there. So essentially, all the things that you were expecting were not delivered to your satisfaction.
Correct, Your Honor.
Which was out of my control, Your Honor.
Okay.
I have no control. I delivered a service to him, which was to book the tickets, provide the information I was provided. On his tickets, there were disclosures that I'm sure that he had an opportunity to read because he got the tickets well enough advance. But I have no control of what that park does once the tickets are actually purchased.
Your Honor, I relied on the information that she gave me to purchase the tickets. Notice in the email correspondence that when she presented me these deals, it was all the pros, it was none of the cons. I didn't know at the time that it was a limited time only, that kids wouldn't be at the park on Wednesdays. I didn't know that the rides and availability and stuff was subject to change. She did not give me the whole scope of the picture, which is expected out of a professional.
Okay, fair enough. Why not sue Omazing Adventures then?
Well,
You weren't expecting that to come at you.
no, Your Honor. So when I realized
Well, you can take a moment. You don't have to
what type of trip this
respond.
was going to be.
You don't have to respond immediately, but that's something that I'm thinking as you're talking, because she doesn't work for that company. She's an independent operator. They're the ones that didn't give you the deliverables. Why not take your beef with them?
Coming up on America's Court.
So you made $50 off of all 10 of those folks,
That's correct.
which means you made $500.
That's right.
What did that $500 get them?
This is America's Court with Judge Ross, Emmy nominated for Outstanding Legal Courtroom Program. America's Court is back with the case of Malcolm Hayes, who is suing Cristina Daniels for false promotion and misrepresentation.
I booked through her. And it was her promises to me that I was like, okay, this is what me and my friends are gonna do. This is what they're gonna fly in for. And so I could understand if some rides were closed for maintenance or you have to wait maybe 15, 20 minutes
As
in
opposed
line.
to 10. An hour, it's like you're asking a lot.
Correct, but the fact
Because
that
otherwise, why buy a fly pass if I'm still waiting in line for an hour?
there is absolutely no point, Your Honor. So the fact that none of what she provided me as far as deals on Amazing Fun Adventures was honored is why I'm here and why that's my beef with her. None of the things that was promised was delivered.
There were 10 of you.
Yes.
So you made $50 off of all 10 of those folks,
That's correct.
which means you made $500.
That's right.
What did that $500 get them?
So what it did was it got them convenience. That's the first thing. He didn't want to purchase the tickets. Matter of fact, it also gave them a discount on the actual passes that they purchased.
You're saying to me, had he gone directly to the source, he would have paid more.
Yes.
But he would have gotten the same experience.
That's correct.
You're saying it would have been the $500 more that he would have paid
That's correct.
had he gone through them? So you're, if anything, you're just transferring what he would have paid them to you. But he still would have come out of pocket the same amount based on what I'm hearing. Is that accurate?
Well, he would have paid more.
Coming up on America's Court.
That is what I provided was the service, something that he didn't want to do. That is what he hired me for. He contacted me.
See, here's the challenge that I'm having with this case, Ms. Daniels. You're not just a middleman.
This is America's Court with Judge Ross, Emmy nominated for Outstanding Legal Courtroom Program. America's Court is back with the case of Malcolm Hayes, who is suing Cristina Daniels for false promotion and misrepresentation.
So the discount that I received through my promotions as a travel agent, I received those discounts, which did save him money in the long term. It did save him money. But the service that I provide, making sure that those tickets are booked and emailed to him and secured, that is what I provided, was the service. Something that he didn't want to do. That is what he hired me for. He contacted me.
See, here's the challenge that I'm having with this case, Ms. Daniels. You're not just a middleman. You are the professional agent that's making the representation and the interaction with the person who's on the receiving end and paying for that expertise. And when I think about who's responsible for, like verifying the claims, maybe like a week before I did call and make sure, just so you know, X number of rides may not be operable. There may be some differences in the pricing for the items, the merchandise, because that to me represents the service on your end that he's paying for. The fact of the matter is he was disappointed, and had he gone through the company directly, he would have still been disappointed. But he didn't go through the company, he went through you. And that disappointment is still there. So the question is, how much is that disappointment worth? Given that his experience, based on your representation, was not what he bargained for. When I mentioned why Not-So-Omazing adventures, that's not something that's completely foreign to you. You still have that avenue.
Judge Ross's verdict when America's Court returns. This is America's Court with Judge Ross, Emmy nominated for Outstanding Legal Courtroom Program.
Because really what it comes down to is you made $500 off of this transaction. And I think there's something to be said for you maybe not exercising as much diligence, especially if it had been 10 years since you had had any sort of direction and interaction with this particular company. Put your hand down. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to award Mr. Hayes $300. Ms. Daniels actually profited with her business with $500. So instead of having a $500 profit, she'll have a $200 profit. And what I would do, sir, if you are open to this, is see what monies you can get from Omazing. Because the fact of the matter is you did use the tickets and you did participate in all the activities, not to your satisfaction. But there still, I believe, is a claim against the adventure company. Now, they do make those disclaimers on their tickets and all of that, so I don't know if you're going to be as successful. But I can't imagine they would want that many people being unhappy with going to their business, because otherwise they'll go bankrupt, because nobody will want to go. And a bad Yelp also goes a long way. Your judgment will be $300 for the plaintiff. That is the order. Case closed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All rise.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $300.
I take great heed in being a professional, and I just hope that after this experience, you can do the same.
You know something, I really wish that I would have purchased some circus tickets for you, because this whole ordeal has been a complete clown and circus.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.